Streaming TV shows together has become an increasingly common activity for couples, but there are some shows that can lead to conversations you probably don't want to have. In the interest of peace, harmony, and your overall well-being, you definitely want to steer clear of watching these shows with your partner. The protagonists of Bravo's Imposters are two men and a woman who've all been victims of a female con artist who tricked them into falling in love with her and then disappeared with all their money. As they pursue the woman who wronged them all, they find themselves conning others along the way, but only those who they believe deserve it. Meanwhile, their mutual ex-wife is falling in love for real, putting her next score at risk.
Will you marry me?
No.
This is basically a show about how nobody can really be trusted, and how just because you're truly in love with someone doesn't mean their feelings are as sincere as yours. And if you're going to watch this with your partner, you'd really better know and trust them. Otherwise, if you end up jokingly asking, "You'd never do that to me, right?" and their eyes shift just a little, you're never going to stop thinking about it. Is it really worth it? HBO's Divorce is a black comedy in which Sarah Jessica Parker and Thomas Hayden Church play a middle-aged couple who split up after he discovers she's had an affair. Ultimately, there are many other reasons the two don't belong with each other, but it can still be jarring to watch a long, seemingly steady relationship disintegrate and leave both former partners alone in its aftermath. If you're a young couple who haven't been together for all that long, watching Divorce will have less of an impact. If you're old enough, on the other hand, and have been together long enough to have felt just a little bored in your relationship, as all couples sometimes do, the show may lead to questions like, what would you do if we split up? Or even worse, do you ever think about getting a divorce? No matter how stable your relationship really is, these conversations are never fun to have. Black Mirror, which began on the BBC and is now a Netflix original, is a sci-fi anthology series which holds an incredibly grim perception of humanity and the future. While many episodes don't specifically deal with relationships, those that do make the whole prospect seem nothing less than horrifying. The entire history of You is about a man obsessed with the possibility that his wife is cheating on him in a world where people can replay anything they've seen. Hang the DJ raises questions about how much freedom we really have to be who we want. Be Right Back is about how technology can make it harder to let go of a partner. Moreover, Black Mirror is a show that basically exists to raise uncomfortable questions. Whether the episode has anything to do with romance, sometimes discussing hard-hitting social topics with a romantic partner can lead to uncomfortable places. Maybe just watch San Junipero together and forget the rest of the series ever happened. Walter White of AMC's Breaking Bad might just be the worst husband in television history. He doesn't just lie to his wife, he lies to his wife about not being a crystal meth cook. By the time Skyler White finds out what Walt is really up to, he's already so addicted to the power of being a criminal mastermind that he can never really go back to being a good husband to her.
Understand.
I have to hear one more time that you did this for the family.
Not every couple needs to tell each other everything about their lives, but this show takes secret keeping to new and dangerous heights. You'll definitely find yourself wondering what your partner has going on that you don't know about, and they'll be wondering the same thing about you. If you are keeping secrets, that's not exactly going to make things comfortable for you. Netflix's Glow is mostly a pretty upbeat show about women's wrestling. At its center, however, are two best friends whose relationship has been terribly damaged, perhaps even irreparably, by a man. Debbie is married to Mark, and they have a baby together. However, Mark is having an affair with Debbie's best friend, Ruth. Debbie blames Ruth, and Ruth blames herself, but over the course of the first season, it becomes increasingly clear that Mark is the real heel. When Debbie joins Ruth as part of a women's wrestling TV show, Mark is embarrassed and unsupportive throughout. When Debbie reveals at the first live show that she hasn't given up on wrestling after all, Mark's derision for Debbie's pursuits is palpable.
Trying to keep an open mind. This is just kind of silly.
This particular subplot is about how you can be in a serious relationship without even realizing that your partner is a terrible person. However, unless that's a specific problem in your relationship in particular, Glow might be worth watching together anyway. No matter how dark its relationship storylines might be, this is a show that does have a lot of other cool stuff going on.